If you need to use Power BI to connect to data other than something simple like an Excel spreadsheet, you might find that you hit the limits of the Power BI browser. Here in the web browser, if I try and connect to a more sophisticated data source, such as an Azure SQL database, it tells me I'm not able to. The good news is it points me in the right direction and tells me I need to make use of the Power BI desktop app. Now that I've switched over to the Power BI desktop app, it should take around about a minute to connect to even the most sophisticated data source. In this example, I'm using a Microsoft Azure SQL database, but the exact same process would work for a whole variety of other sophisticated data sources. In this example, I need to enter in a server name and then make a decision as to whether I'm going to use the import option or direct query. The import option is useful for small databases, typically less than 1 GB, that don't change on a regular basis. For anything larger or where there's regular changes, you'll need to use the direct query option. When we click OK, we're now going to be asked about security. It's quite common with these types of databases that someone else may have set them up for you and uploaded the data. In that case, they should also tell you not only the name of the server, but also potentially an additional username and password that might be different to the one that you use to do things like read your email. Next, click Connect and wait patiently for just a few seconds. What we now see is the server that we've got access to and a list of all the databases on that server. Within there, we can also see the tables that are available within the database. In our example, AdventureWorks was a database, and then within that was a series of tables. I've chosen to select just 2 tables. Over on the right hand side of the screen, I can see it's been successful, and I can choose a series of fields from within those tables. If I resize the visual over here on the left of the screen, you can see the data is coming through from our database. Now we've connected to this database once, the security details that we use will be saved. If you ever need to connect to the same database using different security, you will need to first clear out the old details. To connect to more sophisticated data sources, including online databases such as Azure SQL, you will need to use the Power BI desktop app rather than the browser. When you need to connect to this type of data source, it's completely normal for you to have not set them up yourself and need to request information such as server names, database names, and even usernames and passwords from whoever administrates those data sources. Information that you enter when connecting to data sources are saved. If you ever have trouble connecting to a data source, you may find you need to clear the data source settings to be able to then re-enter them again. This video is part of a series called Your Know-How. Watch other videos in the series to learn more about Microsoft 365.